In this video, I'm going to give you some insights into how to turn depression into hope, and then how to turn hope into the achievement of your desired outcomes. So we will look at flow states, building a positive frame of mind, do your thoughts serve you, questions, statements and commands, and building powerful teams. Now, depression, it's a state of mind. In some cases, it may be related to nutritional status, but I will suggest that in most cases, it's a state of mind. It's about your attitudes, about your thoughts, about something, whether that be something which happened in the past, something which is present in your life right now, or about how you perceive the future. And typically, the person who's depressed doesn't know what to do. They can't see any way out of the present situation. They just can't think of how they can solve the problem and move forwards. It's like they're stuck, you know. In a way, it's like they're repressing, they're depressing, rather than taking action to move forwards. And not taking action means that the brain doesn't produce the reward chemicals that you get from achieving something. Hence, the person who's depressed may resort to coffee, drugs, alcohol, binge eating, gambling, etc. They may argue with people. They may get into fights, even be violent, all in an effort to get their energy moving in a positive direction so that they can get to feel good about themselves. Basically, at the end of the day, each and every person just wants to be acknowledged, validated, and celebrated for being who they are. Now let's take a look at depression in the construction industry. Depression is a serious problem. There's an article on abc.net.au, and it states that those who run the Mates in Construction program said apprentices and young workers aged between 15 and 24 were 10 times more likely to take their own lives than die from an accident on a building site. That's pretty bad. Men in general, and those who work in the construction industry in particular, tend not to talk about their problems. They don't know who to talk to, and so they don't seek help. Part of the problem is that some tradespeople, that includes both men and women, they work in remote areas. They may work 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off, working 6 days a week. Long hours on the job, sometimes having limited contact with others. And working away from home can make it difficult to nurture loving relationships, and the separation from the partner may cause anxiety, insecurity, jealousy, and anger. And not knowing how to deal with the situation, some people may resort to online gambling, pornography, drugs, and alcohol as a means to try and give themselves something. It's a means to make themselves feel good. In addition, some tradies may face long periods of unemployment between jobs. And the sense of unease that this produces may bring a feeling of helplessness, a sense that they can't rely upon the security of a steady income for the next decade. And this unsettled state of mind may set them up for a host of problems. And some of the signs of serious depression are withdrawing from contact with others, crying, alcohol and drug use, the loss of appetite, not caring about what they eat, a lack of pride in personal appearance, sleep problems, general loss of interest in daily activities, could be anger, self-loathing, and reckless behavior. Now, one way to deal with depression is to look at it from the viewpoint of flow states. And flow is defined as an optimal state of consciousness in which you perform at your best. And there are 4 stages of flow. There's the struggle, there's the relax and let go, there's the flow, and then there's the learning and consolidation. And I cover this in more detail in some of my other videos, but today let's look at some basics in terms of flow states. We start with environment. So what is the environment in which you would flourish? Now, this is going to depend upon your personality type, your interests, your passions, and your purpose. If you've got no interest in the activity, then you won't feel motivated. And if you're expected to do a job that doesn't suit your personality type, then you may get stressed or feel despondent. If the job doesn't mean anything to you, then there may be no reason to turn up for work apart from picking up a paycheck at the end of the week. So what is the environment in which you would flourish? So once you have an idea of where you would like to live, work and play, then you need to get an understanding of your personality type. And I find that the Wealth Dynamics profile fits in well with the NLP meta programs and the Myers-Briggs, Keasy-Bates personality types. To learn more about the Wealth Dynamics personality type, follow the link in the comments box below to my website. So once you know where you want to live, work and play, once you understand your personality type, then you need to clarify your interest. What do you get passionate about? And what is it about your passions that motivates you? What gets you moving? And the operative word here is moving, movement, motivation. Because once you are moving towards something that you feel really passionate about, then depression can no longer exist. Do you get it? So you need to be clear on what gets you into flow and what knocks you out of flow. You see, when you live, work and play in an environment in which you flourish, when you are around people who make you feel good, when you work at a job which is fulfilling, then the brain produces the performance-enhancing chemicals, norepinephrine, dopamine, anandamide, endorphins, and serotonin. So if you build your life around flow states, then you will naturally feel good. But those people who don't may resort to coffee and other stimulant drinks, chocolate, sweet foods, cigarettes, marijuana, alcohol, and gambling, etc. So what needs to be understood is that the answer is not to be found like out there, the answer's within. And it's knowing how to get from the back seat into the driver's seat of your mind, so to speak. So now we look at how to build a positive frame of mind. And we do this using the NLP present state to desired outcome model, and we ask questions, lots of questions. So what is the problem that needs to be addressed, if any, and what is the desired outcome? What will the desired outcome specifically look like, sound like, and feel like? When do you want the outcome? Where do you want the outcome? With whom do you want the outcome? Then we get to the why. Why do you want the outcome? Why else do you want the outcome? So you elicit all the reasons why you might want the outcome. And this helps build the motivation to take action and get moving. And then we get into the how. And this is where people typically get stuck. And the basic questions are, do you know what to do? Is it self-initiated and maintained? Can you do it? Have you done this before? Do you know the steps and stages? Do you have an action plan? Do you have a way to monitor your progress? Do you have a way to deal with interferences? And do you have both internal and external resources? And then you need to do some checks. So are you in alignment with the outcome? Is the outcome compelling? Have you made a decision? And what will be the evidence that will convince you that you are making progress towards the outcome? And what are some tasks that you could take action on right now? And the most important check is, are you committed to achieving your outcomes? So you might be thinking that this is a lot of work. Well, then you have to ask yourself, do these thoughts serve me? Do these thoughts serve me? If not, then ask, so what thoughts would serve me right now? What are the thoughts I need to hold in mind such that I get to methodically take action towards creating a lifestyle in which I am rewarded for just being who I am. So what we did was to ask a question that challenges a negative frame of mind and that gets you asking questions that will direct your unconscious mind towards achieving positive outcomes. So this brings us to the use of questions, statements, and commands. You ask questions that are useful, then you make statements, and then you give yourself commands. And you tell yourself to go take action now. But this can be a lot of work for one person, hence the reason I put so much emphasis on building a powerful team. For me, teamwork, it's the basis of building a successful life. Where do you need teamwork? With your friends, your family, on the job, in an organisation, in a club, in the community, in all government sectors. I cover team building in more detail in other videos, but to give you an introduction, you need to start with structure. So a high-performance team will comprise a group who all share a similar identity, a similar interest, bound together by a set of values and a unifying principle. So structure. A building has structure. Just think of the planning that went into mapping out the structure of just a modest house. Now think of the planning that went into building a skyscraper. An incredible amount of detail, mapping out processes and systems. And if you want to coordinate a group of people, then you need to start by mapping out the structure. So a team, by definition, is a group of people who share a unifying principle, who understand their personality type, passion and purpose. So this means the team has to be structured. Each member of the team needs a job title and a job description. And if you look at the game of professional football, someone has to conceptualize and build the team. Then there has to be a captain and a vice captain. Each player needs a title and a position to play on the field. The coach supports the team from the sidelines. The umpire moves through the teams. The audience watch from the outside of the playing field. Photographers are allowed in the space between the spectators and the boundary of the playing field. The game has rules. It starts at a specific time. There are rules to determine if the game can go overtime, which means they have a contingency plan. The game has structure. Likewise, every team must have structure and systems in place in order for it to perform at peak. So part of workplace health and safety should be about taking care of team members, not just the physical aspects of the work environment, but also the psychological and emotional aspects too. But when most people hear the words workplace health and safety, their eyes just glaze over with boredom because it's something they have to do. Like updating the first aid certificate once a year. Yet imagine if workplace health and safety also included the psychological and emotional aspects of creating a work environment in which everyone flourishes, such that at the end of the day, everyone gets to feel that they've had a great day and that they've been acknowledged and validated for their contributions. So when you start thinking in terms of teamwork, then it should automatically bring with it a sense of mateship, of inclusiveness, of acknowledgement, of validation, of self-worth. So the emphasis should be on building high-performance teams in every area of your life. Take some tips from the US Navy SEALs and learn to build a powerful team. Look out for your mates. Talk heart to heart. Share your feelings. Take care of others, and others may take care of you. And if you want to learn how to build a high-performance team, then watch my 2 introductory videos. You can find the links in the comments box below. If you want to get in touch with me, then you can do that from my website, abbyeagle.com. And I look forward to seeing you soon.